If you're shopping for a condo in San Francisco, but you hate the average cookie cutter box that you get and you're looking for something with a little bit more grandeur and edge, I think I have the product just for you, lofts. Now, lofts with their unique character, the high ceilings, the industrial design, the big open floor plan, they're pretty hard to find. There's only about 3 neighborhoods in the city that have loft products in any meaningful way. And right now we are in intermission. I'm about to show you a unit right behind me that we just sold in 2 days. Not only is it the epitome of what a cool loft is here in this area, but it also has an amazing roof deck with views, parking. There's so much to look at. After we check out the unit, I'm going to also walk through the neighborhood with you a bit, share with you what makes this neighborhood so exciting, why it's reinvigorated, why it's so amazing for people that are looking for walkability, weather, access to so many things, and more importantly, how you can get a pretty good deal here compared to nearby neighborhoods. And if you want to learn more about different neighborhoods, what it's like to live here in San Francisco, pricing insights, what's hot, what's not, and you want to learn from a team like ours that is selling more units in San Francisco than any other team, be sure to check out our videos here every Monday at 5. We're dropping new content weekly. Now let's go check out this unit. We are in this building that is a 9-unit building, so it's considered a boutique style. It was built in 1996, so fairly new by San Francisco standards. A lot of the inventory here in the city is really old. It's like a 100-year-old inventory. So this is actually pretty new, all things considered. The unit comes with parking, but the most exciting part is the unit itself. So let's go check it out upstairs. Okay, we finally made it up here. We're on the top floor, which is an amazing thing because especially in a building like this where you have this open panel roof, sunroof courtyard, it lets so much light in. So again, really adding to your non-conventional condo building. Now, we are technically only the 2nd level up because each unit is 2 levels. And because each unit is 2 levels, every unit is 2 floors up. So you have to climb like 4 floors to get up to your unit, which is one con I will say about condos, is that even though there's only a handful of them, they take up a lot of space. Okay, we're in the unit. I'm gonna walk you through it. Come on in, this gorgeous, gorgeous unit. We are in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. To give you a little lay of the land, it's about 1420 square feet and there's so much to see. You have this main level that I'm gonna walk you through, a bedroom level upstairs, and also a roof deck. Like I said, gorgeous views. Just to start right here in the entry, I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up in the camera, but the paint job that they did here is this gorgeous lime wash style paint where it's more intricate, it takes a lot more time, but it has this really cool look to it. They've done this throughout the entire unit. I'll point it out to see if you can look at it. There is also in the entry a closet space. So you have this entry closet. Let's see if we can open it up for you. I'm gonna squeeze in there. As far as coat closets are concerned, this is a really good size. You have a double door. This will fit most of your closet, some storage. One thing about this unit is there is tons of storage. The owners did the upgrades for themselves, and you can really tell because when you see a unit that has been updated by a realtor right before pre-sale, sometimes it feels a little rushed. Nothing about this unit feels rushed. Now, there are 2 bedrooms on this level and your primary upstairs. I'm gonna wait and show you the front bedroom after I finish here in the kitchen, but there's one in the front and one in the back, and we'll look at both for sure. Starting with the kitchen, because this is certainly the focal point of the unit. Again, I feel like this was done so thoughtfully in terms of the lime wash. You have this beautiful lime wash in the ceiling, the walls, everywhere. It really ties in and gives the unit this high-end, again, unique feel. You're not seeing lime wash in any other condo. I guarantee you walk into 10 condos in an open house weekend and you're not gonna find a single lime wash wall. You have these gorgeous pendants right here, an updated kitchen. These cabinets, these are reformed cabinetry, I believe, really beautiful cabinets. You also have them covering the refrigerator, covering the dishwasher. You have more storage here. They have this little bar area, which is so sweet. I love the color of this wood that they've chosen here. It goes really well and meshes with the flooring. You have this wide white oak flooring throughout that looks gorgeous, and it ties in so well with the neutrals throughout the entire unit. You can see the stairs have this black look to it. The storage and underneath the stairs are these like white oak wood, all mixed throughout. Very beautiful. In terms of appliances, again, because this was done for themselves, you can tell that the owners really put some thought into the appliances. This is a Gaggenau refrigerator. I think I'm saying that correctly. Ruth on our team, who I know you know, used to be an interior designer, so she always corrects me when I say appliances incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure this is Gaga now. High-end, upscale appliances throughout. And again, the paneling gives this cohesion look. You have I think it's Fisher & Paykel. Yes, Fisher & Paykel dishwasher right here next to your sink. Again, covered with the reformed cabinetry panel. And some exposed shelving here. Obviously, we've decorated this with staging and to look beautiful, but you can do whatever you want with this space. Also a really wide sink. These are one of the things that you would probably not think about when you're buying a unit, but when you live in one, a wide sink goes a really long way. Okay, and then the cabinet space just keeps going. You have a ton of cabinet space throughout the entire kitchen. There's really no shortage of storage, not only in the kitchen, but really in most parts of the unit. Okay, moving on to more appliances. You have a Samsung steam oven here, and you have a Miele cooktop here, and very silly, but I feel like most people don't have this. This is a Fisher & Paykel induction cooktop on top of your actual Miele burners. I think the owners used to make and cook a lot of soups, and this thing boils very, very fast. And then you also have a microwave embedded right here into the island. Not to mention, the island is pretty massive. For a 3-bedroom condo that's less than 1,400 square feet, you're getting a really house-like kitchen. I would expect to see a kitchen like this in a single-family home all day long in San Francisco. Okay, moving on to the other side of the kitchen. They've done a really good job kind of creating a nice aesthetic by hiding the washer dryer. So you have this LG stackable full-size washer dryer, as well as some storage on the other side. Again, tons and tons of storage throughout. And I like that they hid this because this storage closet area probably before a washer dryer was just a regular closet. And so the machines kind of push out a little, so you really can't fit foldable doors on top of this. So by adding these curtains, it creates a little bit more privacy than just leaving them fully open. So I think that was a smart idea and a smart solution for a common problem that we see in the city. You also have this dining space right here. Again, I love what they did with the built-in chair here. You have this section. This is a gorgeous color. And again, it goes so well with all the other designs in the unit. And then, of course, there's more storage. You'll hear me say that word a million times today, but I believe right under here, you have storage under your seats, which is awesome. So the table is staging, but this whole section here will stay. And I know the next buyers will get a lot of use out of it. And again, you have these little nook right here for either little trinkets to display some art pieces. Very, very well thought out. The thing about lofts, and the thing that people love most about lofts, and probably why you're watching this video in the first place, is because you get these gorgeous soaring ceilings. You basically have 2 levels of open space looking up, and so it gives you this natural light. It gives you this grandeur that a regular condo is just never going to be able to get you. You have 2 stories full of floor to ceiling windows, so many windows, and an outdoor space that I'm gonna walk you through here in just a minute. But again, we're in the middle of the day, you're gonna get so much light in. And also at night, when you no longer want light, you can just bring them the shades that are built in, and I believe they're blackout shades, so you'll get very little light in here when they finally come down. Let's walk out to the deck. Now, there are not just one, but there's one deck here and also a rooftop upstairs with amazing views. We're gonna check that out at the end there. But walking out to this deck, now this is on Harrison. For a busier street, it's not crazy busy. You can still get plenty of function out of this space here. I believe you're facing east, so you're still getting some good sun. And then you can have a little space here for plants, for a little coffee table. You can do whatever you want in kind of a hangout spot. But most people that are buying condos, one of the things that they're giving up is outdoor space. And so with a loft, you're not always promised a deck or a rooftop, but that is what makes this unit so special, and partly why it's sold so quickly, because not only is it all this high ceilings, high light, but you also have plenty of outdoor space. Now let's take a look at the bedrooms, because like I said, there are 2 on this level, and let's start with this one in the front. I'm calling this the front because it's facing the front of the building, but you can call it whatever you want. More lime wash. So you have this really good sized guest room. This is not your primary, this is just one of the 2 rooms, so you can be whatever you want it to be. It could be an office, it could be a kid's room, it could be an art room, it can be a guest room. You can do whatever you want. It fits a queen size bed right now. You could probably fit a king size bed. You might lose a little space here in the front, but either way, all good. Now, this is what some people do when they live on busier streets like Harrison. They add in this second paneling for windows. So this right here is not an original window. The original window is behind it, but they added this on top to add yet another layer of coverage for noise. So you have a double pane window in the front and then a secondary double pane window in the back here. So basically you have a quadruple pane window that really, really helps if this is a room you're sleeping in. These two layers will help a lot with the sound from the street. You'll notice this throughout the unit, but lofts have this industrial feel to it. So it is well within the architectural design to have exposed plumbing, to have exposed heating, to have some, HVAC running here and there. That is very, very much the feel of a loft. The coolness, the edginess includes having some of that exposed piping in areas like that. So that is very much part of the thought process there. Okay, we're gonna go to the front and show you that second bedroom. And also there's a bathroom on this level. That's something that's really special with multi-level units. Sometimes you get the bathrooms on the bedroom level, but no bathroom in the front level. I've seen a lot of lofts. Sometimes the lofts are just living room and dining room downstairs and bedroom and bathroom upstairs. And sometimes they have a half bath here and there. So they did a really good job here by adding a half bath on the main level. So when you have guests, when you're hanging out down here, you don't have to go upstairs to use your bathroom. You can use your half bath here. And for a half bath, I will say it's not bad when it comes to size. Good amount of counter space. This could have been a double sink, honestly. Really big mirror. Now let's take a look at the bedroom. So this is the front bedroom. This is probably the smallest of the three. You can do a lot with this space. They've decided to do a Murphy bed here. So this is built into the wall to get the most space, because a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people don't need 3 bedrooms. They have them, but they don't need the third one to be an actual bedroom. So by having a Murphy bed, you give yourself the option to put it up when you don't have guests here, and this can become an open space for whatever you want it to be. Again, the lime wash continues throughout. You have recessed lighting as well. You're really utilizing the height of the room to keep the space. And then you have this glass block wall. This is more popular in older homes, maybe 80s, 90s construction, early 2000s. You don't see it a lot anymore. It's definitely a dated thing that we no longer use, but I don't mind it. I know some people hate it. I personally don't think it's a bad idea. It lets in some light in from the exterior without having to give up any privacy. So you can leave that open, no one can see you, and it lets a ton of light in. Okay, now we're gonna head up to the upstairs to go check out the primary room. Okay, we're at the primary bedroom level here, aka the loft. I'm gonna have laundry pan over on this side because you'll really get a full breadth of the layout. So you have 2 staircases, one coming up to this primary level, and then you have this living room space downstairs. You can really see from this angle how open and big and bright it is and how much room you have to play with. And then on the left-hand side, you have stairs going up to the roof deck. And I'm gonna show you that in a little bit when we finish here. We'll get upstairs, finish off our tour with amazing views. Let's head into the bedroom. Back to the updates being done by the owners and not for resale. They were really smart because they added these, I believe they're called shoji doors. So these are these panel doors made of wood lattice framing with these like paper-like material, like rice paper style panels in between. And so you can close them and create some separation on a level that you normally don't have it. Again, with lofts, most of these levels are fully open. And some people don't mind that, some people really like that, and some people absolutely hate it. And so by adding in those panelings, you're getting rid of that problem and giving yourself more options. They also added similar style window sliders to this window to get rid of maybe a view that they weren't that excited about. Really, really smart solution, again, to create more of an upscale feel in this space. And it gets rid of nothing because you get just as much light in without any of the compromise, but more cohesiveness throughout. You have a really large bedroom here, definitely a king size bed, probably oversized bedside tables, and still space for an armoire. So tons and tons of room to play with up here. And also sometimes when you get a loft, the second level's really squatty because all the height is downstairs. And so up here you get this add-on that's really short. This is actually very much a normal size bedroom. So you're losing nothing when it comes to ceiling height on this loft level, which I love. Now, if you pan this way, you have 2 closets, his and hers, his and his. You have 2 closets, hers and hers. You have a lot of options for closet space here. So you have one on this side, really good space. This is as much closet space I would probably expect to have in one room, let alone 2 of them. So it's nice that there are 2. And they have built-in hooks and rods as well, so you can make with it what you want. So this is your primary bathroom. It's a full bath. You have this travertine tile throughout, which is a little bit indicative of more of a 90s decor. It's held up really, really well. You can tell it's kind of a 90s look, but a lot of the unit is, and so there's not much wrong with that. Really good sized bathroom. Again, you have a sink, a shower, and a little bit of more storage here. So you have more storage in here that you can do a linen closet, you can add in your towels. You can do a lot with this space here. As far as primary bedrooms go in a loft, this is pretty spectacular. Okay, now let's head to probably my most exciting part of the loft, which is the private roof deck upstairs with amazing views. Let's go. Okay, we finally made it to the roof deck. This is probably my favorite part of the unit because it's so hard to find. It's so hard to find outdoor space, especially something this large. I think we're looking at around 655 square feet of outdoor space that is exclusive to you. You have space for dining, more table space over there, a full like living room setup and lounge chairs. And of course you have views throughout. Back here you can see the Sutro Tower, the city. You also have more views heading in that direction. Everywhere you look, there's views throughout the entire space. So there's a lot to soak in up here. We'll talk a little bit more about weather when we go down and check out the neighborhood, but let's just give you a little hint. You're talking 10 out of 10 when it comes to weather. So if there's ever a sunny day like today, I think I'm a little overdressed, where there's a ton of sun throughout, you're gonna really get a use of the roof deck. There are certain neighborhoods, Outer Richmond, Outer Sunset, where you could have a lot of outdoor space, but not a lot of days where you get to actually use it and love it. But here in Intermission, you will get tons and tons of use of this space. Not to mention, I will say this is one of those neighborhoods that people always come to hang out in, even if they don't live here. You have Valencia, you have restaurants. I'll walk you through those and kind of explain that. But with this level of entertainment space, you'll actually have a lot of friends come over and people that are in the neighborhood, and you'll have so much room to entertain them with. I won't tell you just yet what this unit sold for. I'm going to tell you that in a little bit when we're talking through the neighborhood, and we'll talk you through some real estate stats. But I want you to put in the comments what you think this sold for. Take a really good guess. We'll see if you were right. I'm going to check out those timestamps. And let's also talk about a little HOA fee. So this is a condo. You're in an 8-unit building, like I said earlier. The fees here are around $700 a month, which is pretty standard for most HOA buildings of this size. Anything between 500 to 1,000, it's what's very normal. It's not until you get to those really large buildings in South Beach and Mission Bay that you start seeing those really large HOA fees that are upwards of $1,600, $1,500. So this is definitely what's normal here. I've told you this before if you've listened to our videos, but if you're new here, I'll tell you a little bit of like how HOAs work quickly. You pay your monthly fee. Out of that, the building pays for the water for the unit, the garbage for everyone, the insurance for the building, and just maintenance of the common areas and some savings for the building. But you, as an owner of this, you're gonna pay your PG&E bill, you're gonna pay your insurance for just your walls in, like your condo, and some cable, internet, but that's pretty much it. So really, really straightforward. Again, even though you get this really, really cool looking loft that's very unique, in terms of how the building operates, it operates like most HOA condo buildings, so you're not losing anything there either. This unit also comes with parking and storage, which is really unique. I mean, parking is a huge, huge deal. You can lose about 10% of value when a unit doesn't have parking, but not only does it have that, it also has storage, which is really hard to find. Now, enough about the unit. You got to see a lot of this. Let's go check out what the neighborhood has to offer. Okay, so you've just seen what an amazing loft can look like. Now, if that's not quite doing it for you and you're looking for something a little different, be sure to reach out to me. All my contact information is in the description below. I can help you narrow down the list for what exactly you're looking at. Maybe it's not Intermission, maybe it's another neighborhood. We can talk through all that. Okay, so why am I even here in the first place? One of the reasons why I wanted to do this video is because lofts are so much top of mind for me right now. Not only did we just sell that loft right there on Harrison, I sold my client a different loft, a 1-bedroom loft right down the street here on Harrison. And also a client that I'm currently working with, he actually found me on YouTube. We'd been looking at 1-bedrooms for a couple of months. He's looking at anything for a 1 or 2 bedroom. And just this week he called me to say that, you know what, he really just wants to narrow down his search only to intermission lofts. And I thought, okay, this is too perfect. I have to do a video on this neighborhood because clearly is on everyone's top of mind. There's so much to love. Why do people want to live here in the first place in intermission? I would say one of the main things, and there's a lot, and we'll discuss all of that, but one of the main things is access. I spent a lot of my 20s, I'm a little bit older in my 30s now, but I spent a lot of my 20s here in the Mission. I actually grew up here when I first moved to the States. I spent a lot of time in Valencia, and there's a lot of energy to the city, and there's access to so many things. Like, for example, you have Mission Cliffs right here to your left. I mean, where else can you walk over to a rock climbing gym within a block of your house? That's so awesome. My husband is an avid rock climber. I'm too scared, but he swears that it's really fun. So if you live here, you have access to that. But really, in pre-COVID, one of the things that made the Mission so cool was that you could go to restaurants and gyms and walk around, and there's just so much access to everything. And once COVID shut everything down, it took away not all, but a lot of the spark of what this area had to offer. And so now that we are well past COVID times and things are opening back up, there's like 6 restaurants just right here in this vicinity, not even counting Valencia, that are like really exciting. You know, people are coming back here and rediscovering what makes this neighborhood so special. I know a lot of people never forgot, but it's really nice to see that resurgence. Actually, the loft I just sold my client is right here, 2301 Harrison. I just sold her this beautiful 1-bedroom loft here. It's right next to everything, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about in terms of just this being so top of mind for a lot of buyers right now. So what about access? I mean, just starting with grocery stores, you have Gus's Community Market just 2 minutes from here. If you're in the area, you know that Gus's is a very popular grocery store people rave about. You also have Whole Foods. If you drive about 4 minutes to Potrero Hill, it's a different neighborhood, but it's just adjacent to Intermission. That's another really big grocery store just 4 minutes away. And like I was saying, with regard to transportation and access, you have maybe a 10-minute walk down to the 16th BART station. And there are 2 BART stations in the Mission. You have one on 16th that you can walk to from here, and another one on 26th, and another one on 24th. It's a little bit further away, but still 2 BART stations in one neighborhood is absurd and really unheard of. You're lucky enough to get one. Again, you can walk anywhere. That can be your gym. There's also a bunch of gyms around here. I'm just walking through. This is HIT SF. It's a premier boxing gym. I think I've taken one class there, maybe years ago. I'm not a boxer, but I was looking for a cardio workout to get kind of moving, and the Mission has really fun small boutique gyms as well. Now, with regard to more access, where you are located right now, you have access to a lot of different neighborhoods. Right south of you, you have Bernal Heights, another amazing neighborhood. And then to the east of you, you have Potrero Hill. Northeast, you have all of downtown that you can easily get to with BARTs. If you work in FIDI, even if you work in Mission Bay, if you're in tech and work in those areas, you can access really quickly. You also have Eureka Valley, Noe Valley to the west side. So beautiful neighborhoods there. A lot to offer. You're embedded. Not only is it a great neighborhood here, but you also have a lot of options throughout. If you don't even work in the city, if you're in tech and maybe work in the South Bay, getting to 101 on Cesar Chavez is a breeze. I take that highway all the time. It's so easy to get to. So people love that about here. It's just you can get anywhere quickly. Now, let's talk amenities like restaurants. We're actually right now on the corner of Harrison and 20th, and you'll see right across the street there is Flower and Water, a awesome Italian restaurant. And then on this street, you have what's called a slow street. So you just saw behind me someone on their bike, someone's there running. Slow streets is something that came up in around 2020 era when people were trying to get outside, but everything was closed. And so the city closed down a few key streets to ensure that people had easy places to walk on, bike. And so having a slow street just a couple blocks from that building is really helpful as well. And Flower and Water is not the only restaurant. You have a ton of different options here, like at least 6 that are really awesome. You have Heirloom Cafe. You have Ernest, which is, I think that's on Bryant. It is a Michelin star rated restaurant. Actually, Ruth was kind enough to treat me there for my birthday. It is an amazing, amazing restaurant. Everyone should go check it out. I've also heard really good things about San Ho Wan. It's a Korean barbecue restaurant also on Bryant. I have not been there myself, but I have heard amazing things about it. And there's also Tartine Manufactory. You've probably been to Tartine Bakery next to Mission Dolores, so having that here is also pretty awesome. So again, not only do you have all those restaurant options on Valencia, which is a pretty extensive corridor, and trust me, if you live here, a lot of your friends will come to the Mission, not just to see you, but also to hang out on Valencia Street, and you living here will be able to host them, especially if you live in a cool loft. Everyone will want to come over your house. And it's not just the restaurants. The Intermission has really great culture as well. Like I said, I actually used to live in Intermission when I was really young, about 10 years old, when I first emigrated to the States with my mom. This is the first place we landed from Peru. So to me, when I think about my first few years in the United States, I always think of the Intermission because this is where we lived. And so to me, this is a very special place in my heart, but it's not just to me, it's to so many people. The thing about the Intermission that is unique compared to other like really hot neighborhoods is that it's not just like all new transplants that moved here to work at Meta or Apple. It's a mixture of different generations. You do have those people that moved here for work opportunities. And I like that because they breathe in a new life to the city, bring in new perspectives. But you also have people that have been here for decades and really keep the culture roots strong here in Intermission. So that blend of the two worlds to me is what makes this neighborhood so special as well. Okay, and I promise I won't just keep talking up Intermission. I know there's a lot of layers and certain things that could be drawbacks to some people, and I will certainly hit those here in a minute. But one of those things that's not a drawback is the weather. The weather here is phenomenal. You're talking 10 out of 10. San Francisco's 89 neighborhoods, and I think there's about 5 that have like 10 out of 10 exceptional weather. Potrero Hill, Noe Valley, Intermission, Bernal Heights. Intermission might be at the very top of the list with like the true most 10 out of 10 weather. Right now, we're in early March and weather's phenomenal here. I honestly need to take this off. It's warm, it's walkable. When it comes to enjoying your time here, enjoying a sunny day, this is where you want to be. This is where people spend a lot of their weekends. Now, if you're moving to San Francisco from a different area or moving neighborhoods within San Francisco, everything you're seeing right now and all the context we're providing is super important to make your decision. So if you want to do a deeper dive into neighborhoods, videos, more tours, all of that, head to our website. We have a link here in the bio where you can find out all that information and more. We spend a lot of time in various neighborhoods, so you can get to study those yourself as well. Okay, so let's talk downsides. So what are the drawbacks to living in Intermission? So I would say the first thing is lack of green spaces. I mean, of course, you have Dolores Park, but that's not really walkable from this direction. Dolores Park is more Mission Dolores. It's more Eureka Valley than it is Intermission. Within Intermission itself, there's a couple of little green spaces here and there, but there's no big park. And I do think that a lot of San Franciscans love having a walkable park that they can run to, take their dog to. So that could be a drawback if you're a very big green person. There are probably other neighborhoods that you might prefer other than this one. The other one is also the amount of industrial spaces mixed within the neighborhood. This could be a plus for a lot of people, but some people in the city really love having these residential neighborhoody locations with a main corridor. For example, in Noe is a very residential area, but you have the main corridor of shopping and restaurants and grocery stores on 24th Street. Same thing with Bernal. It's almost all residential, but you have Cortlandt Avenue or the little area by Presida Park that are the main industrial zones. Now in Intermission, you basically have commercial industrial spaces mixed all over the place. You of course have the big corridors, Valencia, 24th Street, Mission, but even within the neighborhood itself, you have a lot of industrial mixed use stuff mixed throughout. So some people that want that separation might find that this is too block by block for them when it comes to that neighborhoody feel. So if that's you, maybe the Mission's not the right place for you. Now let's talk real estate. So I didn't tell you earlier how much that unit we just walked through sold for. I hope you were honest. Let's see what you wrote in the comments. It sold for $1.65 1.5. Now, I will say that is a big number for a loft in this area, and we were able to achieve that for a few reasons. One is that we prepped and staged that unit beautifully. It really shines online, and that's one of the things we are really, really good at. But the unit itself, the product we were working with, is definitely a little bit of an outlier. I mean, you have a roof deck. It's over 1,400 square feet, which is hard to find. You have 3 bedrooms. A lot of these lofts are 1 to 2 bedrooms, so having 3 beds is awesome. And then the loft room had doors, so you could really treat it like a bedroom, not just like a loft space. So an outlier price for an outlier unit, but still something we're very proud of achieving there. Now, your average 2-bedroom unit in intermission is probably running you about 1.25. So you can definitely find something for that range. Now, if you compare that, this is where I say this area is a little bit on sale and you get more of a deal compared to other areas, is that if you go to Noe, the average 2-bedroom is selling between 1.6 and 1.8. And so that's a really large difference between what you can get in a neighborhood that is literally right next door to you. So to me, that is one of the biggest selling points here, is how much more you can get. In the last 6 months, there have been 17 of those 2-bedroom units that sold here in the intermission. So there's definitely options for you. Now, if you want to explore a different side of intermission and spend more time in this neighborhood, watch this next video. And if you're interested in buying or selling in San Francisco, be sure to reach out to us. We are more than happy to help. All our info is below.